Doyle Webb was chairman of the Republican Party of Arkansas for 12 years prior to 2021. This past week, he became the third candidate to get into the lieutenant governor's race on the Republican side, following State Senator Jason Rapert and Arkansas Surgeon General Dr. Greg Bledsoe. Webb and I caught up earlier in the week to talk about his new candidacy. Former Chairman Webb, explain to me why you are running for lieutenant governor in Arkansas.
You know, Roby, first, I appreciate your having me on your show, but I want to say that, we worked hard to develop supermajorities in the House and the Senate, and I want to work to continue the mission that we set forth, which was to maintain a strong position in life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower taxes. And I have served in this office before, as you know, with Lieutenant Governor Rockefeller. I enjoyed my service there. I enjoyed serving the people of the state. And then during the time I served in the Arkansas Senate, when I was one of 7, I enjoyed working with other senators and with representing the people back home. So public service is in my blood. I'm anxious to get back into it. I have resigned my position with the Attorney General effective April 23rd, last Friday. When I took on that position, I believed it would be short run, that we would have the numbers fairly quickly from the Census Bureau, that we would probably be finished by late spring, early summer, and I could go on with what I chose to do. And that obviously is not going to be the case. So I thought it was a good time to exit right at the end of the legislative session. So I decided that it was time for me to announce my candidacy and run for lieutenant governor.
It's going to be a crowded field there. You alluded to your service in the state Senate, that you want to lower taxes. I seem to recall you voted for a tax increase when you were in the state Senate, but you've justified that with me before. Tell me a little bit about that philosophy of why you voted for that big tax back then, but where you stand now on taxes.
You're referring to a vote that we sent the tax out for a vote of the people. And that was on a road program. It was for infrastructure. It would have helped our county, Saline County. It would have developed the 6 lanes that we now enjoy between Little Rock and Benton. And I certainly could support it because it was a referendum of the people. It failed, but the people had a right to have their say on that tax.
Well, subsequently, that funding did get to go through, and those roads in Saline County are pretty good right now from the times that I drive through. So.
And I think my vote and the work that I did on that brought that need up to a level that Governor Huckabee and the legislature could see it. Also appreciate the state reps from Saline County that supported it as well, and we enjoy those roads today.
The lieutenant governor's post, I don't have to tell you, is what you make of it to some extent, because it does have limited powers. It's there when something does happen to the governor, but in this day and age, the communication lines have changed particularly. A lieutenant governor doesn't always have to weigh in on legislation either. We did not see Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin take positions on a variety of issues in this last legislative session. How are you going to conduct yourself in terms of when will you speak up on particular issues? When will you lay low on particular issues?
Well, my view is that I will work with one of the 2 women Republicans that are running for governor. One of those 2 will be elected governor, and I see the lieutenant governor's office as an extension of that office. So I will be working with them to help put an asterisk or put an exclamation point beside their programs. I'm not, as you know, I'm fairly short in stature, and I've used many a stepping stool, but I do not see this office as a stepping stool for Doyle Webb to run for another office. I plan on being lieutenant governor for 4 years. If I do a good job, I'll run for re-election for another 4. I don't plan on running for governor or congressman. I plan on being the best lieutenant governor possible. I hope that we can continue reducing taxes, certainly the income tax. I think that our Lieutenant Governor, Tim Griffin, has done a great job at what he has done at presiding over the Senate. So I hope to be an extension of the governor's office, as it should be, as the vice president is an extension of the president.
I don't have to tell you, boy, that presiding over the Senate can be a little bit rowdy. It's a little raucous down there. It was this last session. I haven't checked with Tim Griffin yet to see how big his arms might be from swinging that gavel all that time. Will you feel the need to weigh in on legislation that's down there? There's a lot of controversial stuff down there. Will you make your opinions known on some of that legislation?
Well, it will depend on those. I don't have a crystal ball. Presiding at Republican meetings and presiding at Republican National Committee meetings, I was very cautious not to weigh in because I wanted to be a neutral arbiter. So it will depend on those situations. And speaking of having strong arms, I remember when Lieutenant Governor Win Paul Rockefeller broke the marble that he was banging on trying to get order in the Senate. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's a little early to talk about that. Certainly, I will do my best to be supportive of our governor.
So let's just say in this last legislative session, there were a variety of bills that kind of pushed back on the federal government. I understand that position, certainly from a political viewpoint, but you're a lawyer also, and you would know that some of those laws that were passed are going to be stricken down by the courts. Would you weigh in on some things that you think are unconstitutional in the way that the governor weighed in some of his vetoes?
Well, certainly, I think we have an attorney general, and we will have an attorney general that can weigh in on those issues if an opinion is requested. Once again, I'm not going to speculate on what I will weigh in on or won't weigh in on. I hope to be aware of those issues, to be informed of those issues. And if asked, I probably will give my opinion.
That's Doyle Webb, GOP candidate for Lieutenant Governor. You can catch more of our interview at talkbusiness.net. That is all for this edition of Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.